The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. When the Pharisees with some scribes who had come from Jerusalem gathered around Jesus, they observed that some of his disciples ate their meals with unclean, that is, unwashed hands. For the Pharisees, and in fact all Jews, do not eat without carefully washing their hands, keeping the tradition of the elders. And on coming from the marketplace, they do not eat without purifying themselves. And there are many other things that they have traditionally observed: the purification of cups and jugs and kettles and beds. So the Pharisees and scribes questioned him, "Why do your disciples not follow the tradition of the elders, but instead eat a meal with unclean hands?" He responded, "Well did Isaiah prophesy about you hypocrites, as it is written, 'This people honors me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. In vain do they worship me, teaching as doctrines human precepts.' You disregard God's commandment, but cling to human traditions." He summoned the crowd again and said to them, "Hear me, all of you, and understand. Nothing that enters one from outside can defile that person, but the things that come from within are what defile. From within people, from their hearts, come evil thoughts, unchastity, theft, murder, adultery, greed, malice, deceit, licentiousness, envy, blasphemy, arrogance, folly. All these evils come from within, and they defile." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you.
Brothers and sisters, today in the Gospel we hear that Jesus had a problem with the Pharisees and the scribes. What is the problem? The problem here is the Pharisees believe that you take a meal of food and you eat before wash your hands, your heart becomes unclean. So they observed the disciples of Jesus ate the meal and not washed your hands. For this reason, the scribes and Pharisees asked to Jesus, "Why do your disciples not follow the traditions of the elders, but instead eat a meal with unclean hands?" Jesus answered strong, very strong. He responded, "Well did Isaiah prophesy about you hypocrites, as it is written, 'These people honors me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me.'" I want to stop here in this part for the gospel. And I want to take an example for understand more this gospel. When you wear your clothes, you use your clothes dirty or clean? Dirty or clean? You use your clothes? Clean. When I go to a store, wherever, a restaurant, I want to check my clothes. It's clean, okay, it's perfect. But my shirt or your dress or pants is stained. What happened? What do? I go to change, okay? And after, I go to laundry the clothes. It's the same. It's very important, look good, okay? It's important, a good presence. The question here is, in my interior, how was my interior? Is clean or no? Today, Jesus invites us to reflect in our interior, in our hearts. Brothers and sisters, when we celebrate the Mass or when we start the Mass, we say, I confess to Almighty God. You remember? And to you, my brothers and sisters, and that I have really sinned. Here is 4 ways that I can do sins. In my thoughts, in my words, in what I have done, and in what I have failed to do. When I reflect about that, I need to write in a list for my sins. In the gospel, Jesus said some types for the evils. Okay? Maybe this list is short if I compare it with me. Maybe I had a bigger list of sins. Bigger list of sins. It's very important. Take a few moments or a few times in a day, they separate for the people the quiet place, your room, your study, whatever place is quiet. What's quiet? In this moment, reflect about this, about that, before Jesus, before God. And the question is here, how was my heart? How was my heart in this moment? How many times have I offended someone? How many times have I done wrong to a person? How many times have not showed charity? I had judged. I had not forgiven. When I recognize my sins, the second step is go to reconciliation with God. Because God cleaned my heart. Clean my heart. How can you clean your heart? With the grace of God. When you receive the sacrament of reconciliation, when you receive the communion, it's very important, clean our hearts today and recognize before God, God, I am sinner, but I need to you. For these reasons, we are here. We coming for the participation of the Eucharist. We do prayer because we need to Jesus. The scribes, the Pharisees and the scribes, is not necessary for his life the recognize of Jesus. They is a good person. Maybe we can to take the same attitude for the scribes and Pharisees. No, I am a good person. I don't have sins. I don't need to God. No. It's very important. Recognize I'm sinner. We are sinner, yes. But I had a merciful God in my life. And God cleaned my heart. For this reason, we need to looking for Jesus every day in our life. Jesus invite today everybody to close to Jesus every time. I invite you to ask Jesus, Jesus, please do come to me and clean my heart of all evil, because I want to live in your grace. Your grace.